Hey guys, today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I pay myself after we go through the whole Facebook Marketplace dropshipping game. I wanted to wait a little bit, like a couple months in, before I really kind of figured out what I might want to do. And now that we're there, I'm just going to tell you exactly what I do. Not all of it will pertain to you, maybe. It might be exactly what some of you guys need. It might just give some of you guys some ideas. And just know that in no way do you have to do it exactly like me. I just literally found a method that I like, and it could be tinkered with and tweaked all over the place. You could literally do this anyway, and we'll kind of talk about that a little bit. But as always, I just want to take a second. If you haven't already, like the video, please. It helps me out so much, and I appreciate all the likes. I noticed them, and I noticed all the subscriptions. We just passed 800 last night. That's insane. So thank you all. If you haven't subscribed, I invite you to subscribe, please, if you can. And yeah, let's get into it. So a lot of you guys, you know, some of you guys have probably already figured it out or just kind of wing it, and you don't really know, you know, what is the best way to pay myself? You know, how do I handle taxes, or how do I, you know, what bank account do I use? Like, it's kind of weird in my personal bank account, or you have no issue using your personal bank account, which is fine too. Regardless of your situation, let me just explain mine. And some of you guys have heard this before, but when I started, you know, when we all start, it's not like we blow up immediately. At least most of us don't. Most of us get a handful of sales after about a week or so, maybe. Maybe you only get one. Maybe it takes you 3 weeks to get one, but you get that one and you're excited to get paid. So, okay, I'm going to get paid. How does that work? Where am I getting paid? Well, you have to enter in a bank account for Facebook to know where to send your money when they owe you money for something that you sold. And you really only have to do this when you have the shipping option. We're not going to get into if you don't have the shipping option and everything right now, because it doesn't really apply. You really only need this, I believe, if you have the shipping option, because if you don't, then you're only doing local sales, and Facebook's not being the middleman for the money. If you're doing local sales, you're taking that in person most of the time. So you make a sale, right? Let's say you sold one of the items, like a garden bed, like what we were talking about previously, and you sell it for $100, and it costs you $70 to buy it. There's a $30 difference there. We're going to ignore the Facebook fee and tax that you pay on it. If you have to pay sales tax when you purchase it, we're going to ignore that for simple math purposes. You have $30 profit and a $70 expense because you had to buy the $70 item, but you were paid $100. So if you're like me, I use a credit card. Because I primarily deal in Amazon Prime, I did get the Amazon Prime Rewards card, and that one gives me 5% cash back. So if I do a lot of, I don't have an affiliate thing with Amazon Rewards card or anything. I'm just telling you exactly what I do. But yeah. I use a Prime Rewards card. It gives you 5% cash back, so it just helps me with my profit a little bit in the long run. Anyway, you basically will get your payout from Facebook 5 days after your item is delivered. And that means you should be getting a $100 payout from Facebook. Now, remember, up front, you had to use a credit card or money that you had saved up or something to buy that product. So you've already purchased the product. Now you're getting the money back. So $70 of that money is actually kind of accounted for already because you paid $70 up front, like we said. So if you used a credit card like me, now you have a $70 balance on your credit card. Now that I have my $100 payout, I'm going to take that $70 of it and pay my credit card off. That's what I do. Now I've got $30 left. Well, that payment I got was just deposited into my bank account as $100. So you have to be disciplined enough and make sure that you pay off your credit cards, or, you know, replenish your spending fund, however, whatever method you chose to do. Now, what bank account do you use? Do you use your personal bank account? Do you use a business bank account? Well, what's the best way? Well, you can use a personal bank account. I had everything going into my personal account that me and my wife share, and it's just our normal account. All of our money flows through. But I started to, look into the future a little bit, and I got a little scared because I was thinking, well, what happens if I get bigger? When everything grows usually as you become more familiar and learn more tactics and just be, get comfortable. I knew that if I'm getting, a Facebook payout here and there every couple days, maybe every week, well, eventually that's going to turn into, I'm probably getting a payout every single day once Facebook is just initiating payouts after these just scheduled elapsed times. So the way I handle my money is I kind of stay on top of it in the bank account, which I'm sure you guys do too, but I don't really want to have to be mixing in Facebook payouts that I also have to go pay a credit card really quick and then calculate my profit. And that's getting mixed in with my normal balances from actual other money that's going through my bank account, my wife's job, and all this stuff. So I opened up another bank account and switched my payment information in Facebook. Again, I didn't do this right away. It's not like you have to be like, ooh, you have to have all this all figured out before you start. I was dropshipping for like 3 weeks before I changed my bank account. And I had already made, I don't know, $500 to $700 maybe before I switched bank accounts, maybe more. So don't think it needs to stop you. Don't let it, hinder you from starting, because you don't need to worry about that. You can change it at any time. And I made a video a while back where it wasn't the focus, but it was like a little thing I slipped in a video one time. And I talked about, they tell you if you change your bank account information that, it's going to delay your payments and it might take a long time for the payments to reinitiate or something in your new bank account. I changed my payment information, like my routing and checking number in Facebook for my payouts. I changed that info on a Friday, and I had payments on Monday or Tuesday the next week. So like the business weekend, which you'd already normally not get payouts on, like it almost was immediate for me. So don't be worried about that if you want to go changing your bank account information. And even if it was a long time, who cares? Don't cry about a week. Just get your stuff changed so that, in a week when you don't even care about what happened last week, you're already on track with what you want. So just don't worry about it. Anyway, the bank account I used, and again, I am not associated with the bank. I don't have any affiliates. I don't even think they have them. This is just honestly what I landed on. I use BlueVine.com. It's a BlueVine bank account, and it is specific to business. It's only a business checking account. They have other business stuff. And, I waited, like I said in other videos, I sold up to, when I first started, I got to $160, paid for my LLC, EIN, which is just like a business social, basically a tax number. Those are free. You can get those like immediately on the IRS's website. Got one of those and signed up for a BlueVine bank account. It did kind of take a little longer than I expected. I think it took because I mistyped my email when I signed up like an idiot the first time, and then I had to try to get it fixed and they weren't responding. So I just tried to create another one and it went through again. And then that took, I don't know, maybe a week or less. I can't remember now, to, verify itself and get published. But I like it. They're just an online checking account. They sent me a business card. There's nothing personal on this. It just looks like this. Let me see this right here. But I don't really use it. It's a debit card. I just activated it today, and I've been using this account for like over a month. But I use that. I think the reason I went with them is because they have just across the board 1% interest. So I knew at least my money was going to get a little 1% additional as it sits in there, which is just kind of higher than some of the other high interest savings accounts you could go for online right now because the interest rates are so low everywhere. This was actually substantially higher than most other things that I found. And I just liked it. I liked the way their app kind of works and stuff. It's just very simple. But again, they don't know me. It's not like a thing. And I don't have a link for you to go to. It's just BlueVine.com. I like them. But now all my PayPal payouts go there. And, you know, I can check it in the morning on my phone, and it's just like, it's kind of cool to see. And Facebook payouts go pretty much, usually I get like 3 a day now. So there's some days I don't get any, but for the most part, it's pretty consistent throughout the week. And, you know, that money just grows and grows. Okay, now that I have my payouts separated from my personal finances, because then I can keep track of my spreadsheet a little easier. That spreadsheet video I made, if some of you guys downloaded that and are using that, I kind of just created an extra tab on the bottom. It's not anything you gotta really think too hard about. And then I copied the white cells that were the total cost and income side that just have like the little dollar signs. So if I want to enter stuff in, it'll add it in there for me. Anyway, I just created a new tab underneath where it says inventory and profit. And I created another tab that says total profit tracker. And all I do is I just put my total profit from each month in a column. So it's like February profit, and then March profit, and then underneath that, like a few spaces below, I actually put like negative $166. And then as a label, I put like LLC cost. And then if I had to issue a refund and take a loss on something, I put all my losses basically underneath that, or everything that I've spent money on. And that just helps me keep track of my total profit after expenses. I can just kind of like tap the column, like on mine, it's like the H column or whatever. I can just tap that, and then in the corner, it tells me what the sum of everything is. So if I have negatives and positives, it'll just tell me what the end result of all the math is. And that helps me keep track. Now, where it kind of gets weird is I also have some Venmo transactions that I can't tie to my business bank account because Facebook uses PayPal. And I didn't already have my business account tied to my Venmo account. So when I tried to like attach my BlueVine account, business checking account or whatever, to my Venmo app, it said that that bank account already has its maximum amount of connections to something. And I think that's because they all use PayPal basically, and because PayPal owns Venmo, I'm pretty sure, and PayPal is what Facebook uses for their payouts. So basically I've connected that bank account to PayPal 3 different times. So it's like, hey, you can't do that anymore. So I do have to let those go to my personal bank account, which is a lot less than what it used to be. And then I have to transfer those to my business checking account. And then I have some deals that go through PayPal outside of Facebook, because if you can get somebody to pay through PayPal instead, especially if you don't have the quantity option where they can't buy more than one item at a time, sometimes I'll have customers cancel that order and purchase it through a PayPal Me link, which is actually only like 3% fee instead of the 5% fee. So you actually get a little bit more profit out of it. And on top of that, you don't have to worry about the Facebook canceling the order or anything. You're just, you know, the customer's just at the mercy of whenever it gets shipped, and there's nobody to verify it with. Now, that's different if you send a PayPal invoice, so don't do that. Just send them a PayPal Me link. Unless they've specifically requested an invoice, then you're basically doing the exact same thing in Facebook, but through PayPal. You'll need to put a tracking number in if you want your money faster, but not if you use the link. Okay. Anyway, keeping everything separate just helps a lot more with checking your total balances and then verifying with, you know, your pending payouts and everything, and just verifying that what your spreadsheet says every once in a while is actually looking like what is currently cycling through all your accounts. Because if you're like me, you know, my bank account just had like $2,600 in it, but my credit card had about $2,600 balance. So I went ahead and just paid it off completely. And now there's no technical profit anywhere, but my spreadsheet, I know that I do have like, you know, $1,400 left over or something of profit that I haven't used. Even though it's not physically sitting anywhere, it's because I know that now the money that's gonna come to me in the future, mixed with some money that I have waiting for a transfer in PayPal and then Venmo, all that adds up to my total profit that I have left over. So it's just kind of like you gotta account for those things on your own. I need to check my list, see what else I got here. Okay, that's kind of how to keep track-ish. I know I'm just kind of talking, I'm not showing anything on my screen, but how often do you pay yourself? That's the big one. That's what people are like, okay, this is great. Profits are cool. My pending balance is awesome. Shipping orders, whatever. How the hell do I pay myself? I'm going to pay myself once a month at the end of the month. I'm just going to keep track of my profits in my spreadsheet. And at the end of the month, whether there's money in the account or not, you know, like say, oh, I've reached the end of the month. I have $2,000 profit that it's mine. What do I do with that? There's only $1,000 in my bank account, but I got $2,000 profit. It just hasn't flowed through the system yet. What do I do? Well, you can just wait and hold off until that balance in your bank account reaches what you have allotted yourself for your payment. Or you can take what is in your bank account right then and then just deduct that from your profit and just, you know, now you've got $400 in your bank account, but you need to pay yourself $2,000. Take the $400 if you need it. And then, you know, now you just update your number. It says, okay, well, whenever I have more money in there, I can take $1,600 out now instead of $2,000. And if this is super obvious to you guys, fine. There's some people who really have a hard time with they just need to be told how to do it, because thinking of it on their own is just stressful. And it is. If you're not it's not something you like to do and you just need somebody to tell you exactly what they do so that you can follow along, that's what this is for. So, another thing is, you know, it's like, I'm scared of taking that money out because I'm also just getting reoccurring credit card balances. That's going to always happen. If you want to wait until you have so much money built up in an account to where you always have a pool left over, it's going to take so long to happen. I mean, it's just going to take too long. If you can deal with not taking the money out, which I recommend you try to just let this be a side hustle and not a primary income, because literally at any day, Facebook could change everything and then this goes away. It could happen. I'm not saying it's going to. If anything, I think it's actually going to grow. But, I mean, we're putting our faith in something that we have no control over. We're just trying to take advantage of it. So keep that in mind. But I'm going to pay myself once a month and do exactly what I just explained to you. Take it out if it's there, and if it's not there, wait until it is, and then take it out then. And then I will update on however I keep track of money that I've taken versus money that I'm owed, and that's what I'll do. Now, before you just leave the video and you're like, okay, I got the information, you have to think about taxes for this. Where I live and self-employment tax and everything, I haven't talked to my accountant completely about all this stuff. I do plan to, and then kind of putting a video together about some actual information I learned from a tax professional. But what I do know, and I have asked, is that where I live, self-employment tax for stuff like this is somewhere between like 11 and 13% is what you owe for taxes. So I'm keeping aside 15%. So, I mean, if I have $2,000 left at the end of the month, cool. But don't take out $2,000. If you do want to do it the route where you take out all your money now and then you just start saving up towards the end of the year and then make up for what you didn't use, that's fine. I'm not going to do that because I've never had success with that. I always tell myself stuff like that, and then it gets to the end of the year, and actually the end of the year is slow season for my type of business. So I can't really afford to hold back money at the end of the year. So I'd rather just learn from my mistakes and put it all aside at once for myself. So $2,000, let's just do times 0.85. Sweet. That means I can take out $1,700. I need to keep out about $300 for taxes. So $2,000 means $1,700 that I get to keep guilt-free. So that's super cool. Then I also just have peace of mind knowing that as long as I consistently keep the taxes set aside, and you can either open up like a little extra savings account that piggybacks off of your checking account, or you can take it out and put it in another account, whatever you want to do, leave it in your PayPal, I don't know. But I'm just going to keep mine in my bank account for now, unless I decide like, oh, I just hate seeing it there, whatever. Because then you can always use it as an emergency if you need to like correct something, if you absolutely need to. But keep your taxes set aside if you can. Okay, what else? I mean, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's what I do. Just to kind of recap, I mean, pay myself once a month. I use a business checking account at BlueVine.com. I make sure that I'm just keeping on top of Venmo, PayPal, and my Facebook payouts so that I can kind of just, you know, every week or so, just double check that all my math is making sense. I just kind of get my calculator out and just do some work and figure that part out. Because the other day I was like, man, I'm missing like $200. And then I forgot about my Venmo account, went to go check it. And now I'm like, crap, I'm over $300, which means I have $300 extra that I can't account for. And then I remembered there was a huge return that I had to do. And I bet Facebook just hasn't like kept that from me yet because my pending balance was probably still showing that I was getting that money. So that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know if that sucks, if that's just like, ugh, that didn't help me at all. Or if it was helpful, or at least just got you thinking, made you feel a little bit more comfortable about, you know, it's really not as big of a deal as you probably think it is. And let me know what you do. You know, if I remember, I'll pin a comment asking that question. But if you can, please comment on the video and let me know just even a simple what you do. I would love to know, because so far I haven't really heard about what anybody else does. And I don't really look at other YouTubers or other people who do this to see what they do, because I don't really want to be, you know, when I make videos, I don't really want to just be trying to copy other people's videos. I want to just be literally giving you guys what I think. So thank you guys. Again, subscribe if you haven't. Oh man, we got 800 today, like I said. That's so cool. And I'm loving it. I'll see you guys next time. Soon I'll do a live, so I'll announce that in the Facebook group. Feel free to join the group if you haven't already. It's in the description as always. And I will see you next time.